So I get this question all the time. What's the difference between a virtual assistant and executive assistant? So to start, a virtual assistant is typically something that you can find online, that you hire online. They typically might be from domestically in the United States or Canada, but a lot of virtual assistants are actually living outside the United States, and therefore they're much, much cheaper. In terms of what their primary focus is, a virtual assistant is really mostly can do task execution, and mostly it's simple tasks or SOPs or processes that are very clearly outlined. When it comes to an executive assistant is a little bit more in terms of the complexity of what they can do. They don't just follow processing SOPs, they can actually create their own and do a slightly more complicated things. Now at Hermesi, which is what we call a level 3 or a strategic partner, they are really focused on what is your strategic goal. Like what is your goal and how can I help you achieve them? The second thing, which the difference is in scope, is a virtual assistant is someone who typically does something called core, what I call core, and core is email, calendar, and travel. But they can also do a lot of business functions. For example, like social media posting, maybe some simple finance, invoice, receipts, vendor management. It's all pretty basic, relatively simple things that have very, very clear processes. An executive assistant can do all what I just said, the core, and then they can also do some slightly more complicated things that, for example, like some of them can potentially do bookkeeping, some of them can potentially do some more interesting things, but it's more of a more experienced virtual assistant that can slightly think more better for themselves. Now at Hermesi, an executive assistant is someone who not only does the core plus the business, but they can also do projects, meaning they can also create SOPs, lead teams. You can give them like a project that they can then go off and do research on and kind of come up with the answer autonomously by themselves. And this is like having someone that does the things that you need to do without you telling them exactly what you need to do. In terms of AI skill level, a virtual assistant is typically copy and paste. And they might edit a little bit, but they're just going to prompt an AI and then copy and paste it to you. An executive assistant is someone who might occasionally edit the AI outputs. Some of them might be able to kind of put different concepts together, but most of them are probably not going to be as sophisticated. Now at Hermesi, we train our executive assistants not to do any of those things. We train them to use and leverage AI as a way to curate and produce some ideas, and they have to use that to create a brand new or much more enhanced idea on their own that is aligned with their goal. And they will not copy paste. And this is something that we strictly train them to make sure that they're providing the utmost value, that AI is augmenting them, not that AI is dictating what they should be doing or saying. In terms of like leadership qualities, virtual assistants can't really do much leadership. There's some that can, but those are pretty rare. Executive assistants is the same thing. Some can lead, but most of them are more in tune with doing traditional executive assistant duties. Our executive assistants are developed to lead teams and manage projects. That is the way how we teach them. We recruit people who have the capability to eventually in the future become a chief of staff. So when it comes to your business impact, well, for a virtual assistant, they can definitely help you save some hours, but sometimes it might take you more time to train them. And they're not very flexible in the way how they think. Like they only can do just this certain pathway. And if they hit a roadblock, they might be stuck. An executive assistant can help you probably save more than just hours. They can probably save you, days at a time. They can probably think a little bit more flexibly and be more proactive. But overall, it's still kind of a box. At Hermesi, our goal is not just to save just days, it's to save not just months, but also to transform your entire business and your operation. They are somebody that will take lead in trying to make your business much more scalable and try to run it with minimal input on your side. Try to not run it without you, but try to take away all of the admin and the grunt work away from you.